time yesterday, the Conservative Association in Bracknell have chosen their shortlist of candidates from whom the person who's going to fight the Bracknell constituency for the Tories will be selected. Paul Bettison, the council leader, not on the list. He was on yesterday saying he was disappointed. We spoke to the well-known Conservative political blogger Ian Dale, who's one of the guys on the list, yesterday on the Pete Show. Let's meet some more of the people who Bracknell Conservatives and people in Bracknell generally have got to choose from. Julia Manning, first of all. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Andrew.
Good morning. Nice to have you on the programme.
Thanks for having me.
Not many people on this list of Conservative potential candidates, however you want to put it, have got anything to do with Bracknell. I don't think you have, as far as I can tell. Do you have any Bracknell connections we need to know about?
You're right. None of us are local, which was interesting. I thought there would be locals in the final, but it was the local association who decided who they wanted to interview. You asked for association, but the only association is because my grandfather was at Sandhurst.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, okay. So, what did you tell them? What did you say was your reason to want to be Bracknell's next MP, Julia? Because they were clearly impressed.
Well, it was tied up with why I want to be an MP, full stop, and that is 10 years ago, I was just a mum working in the NHS, but I was driven to getting involved in politics by Blair and Brown because I felt sidelined as a parent. I felt that my patients were being undermined and that our money was being wasted. And this is just as relevant to families in Crowthorne and Cranbourne as it is to me where I live currently in Camberwell.
Right, I got you. Well, there's not much money being wasted by the NHS in Bracknell because we don't have a hospital, as you know. So that's one place where there's not much NHS money being spent at all.
You've got Heatherwood, haven't you?
Yes, in Ascot, yes.
Yeah, and I know the main issue is that you don't have a local A&E, and I think that's something that I'd want to be talking to local people about, because I think there are two choices to make ahead. It's, do we fight for an A&E there, or do we actually fight for top-level ambulance service with all the latest technology and top-trained personnel on board, who will mean that we get good treatment as soon as the ambulance arrives.
Have you noticed, I mean, whether this is part of it, I don't know, but everyone that they have selected for this shortlist of potential Conservative candidates, you're all rather sort of young and clean-cut and good-looking, you know? Is that a fair assessment?
Well, that's for you to say, not me. I mean, I'm 41. I think I do look younger than I am, but I've got 20 years of work experience under my belt, and my children are now 11 and 14, married to a comprehensive school teacher. So I've worked in the NHS for 17 years, but done all other sorts of things as well. So I've got a lot of real-life experience, and it's that's driven me into politics.
Julia, I'm going to talk to some of the other guys, but I wish you well, as I do everyone, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Julia Manning, one of the people who would like to be the next Bracknell MP. Phillip Lee's another one. Hi, Phillip.
Morning, Andrew.
Give me your pitch then. You were born at the old Red Cross Hospital round here.
Yeah, no, I'm quite enjoying actually hearing how I'm not a local candidate, Andrew. And I'm speaking to you.
I don't think I said that. I think that might have been Julia that said that.
It's my fellow candidate. But I was, as you say, I was born up at Cliveden, and I'm speaking to you from my home in East Berkshire. And I've worked in Bracknell, probably met at least 2,500 people as patients.
You're a GP, aren't you?
I'm a GP, yeah. I worked in Finchampstead, Bracknell, and I continue, whenever I do sessions the out of hours, I cover Bracknell town. So
okay.
I think I'm locally connected, Andrew.
So give me your perspective then on what is important to people in Bracknell. You've had more chance to meet them than some of the candidates have. So what do you think are the big issues in Bracknell?
Well, I would say this, I'm a doctor, but the running sore in Bracknell has always been the access to acute medical services. I've got plenty of friends who are involved at the top level with regards to the provision of services in East Berkshire. I think to make it sort of simply about ambulances and physicians of A&E departments is to miss the point, and also to not understand how local services are designed at present. I mean, the reason that people in Bracknell have to travel to Wexham is because the farmer's daughter was treated well at Upton Hospital in Slough, and he bequeathed some land, and this is why East Berkshire services are based in the middle of a farm field north of Slough. I think in the longer term, the right location for a hospital serving this population is at Junction 8-9 of the M4. I think it could serve the towns of Henley.
The whole sort of East Berkshire conurbation served from that kind of
absolutely. I think that's where it should be. It's where everybody can access. and we could have a new District General Hospital, a super District General Hospital serving everybody.
Expensive.
In Berkshire.
Philip, I'm sorry we can't talk for longer, but I've got to rattle through all the people who are interested in this job, and really good to have you on the show. Good luck.
Thank you very much,
So
Andrew.
Philip Lee, local GP, who's up for this gig, and the last person we're going to speak to about it on the show this morning is Rory Stewart. Hi, Rory. No, Rory's gone. We'll come back to him in a second or two, I think.
BBC Radio Berkshire.
BBC Radio Berkshire.
50 million people who'd like to be the next MP for Bracknell. This is the shortlist of 7 chosen by the Conservative Association, from whom the Conservative candidate in the Bracknell election fight will be chosen in the next couple of weeks, actually, and then the election will come at some point between now and next June. Rory Stewart, the next man on the list. Hi, Rory.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pete Show.
Good morning.
We've already spoken to Ian, we've spoken to Julia, we've spoken to Philip. Tell us something about you and why you'd like Conservatives and people in Bracknell to give you the chance to fight the election for the Tories.
Well, I think the very exciting thing about being a Member of Parliament is being able to connect local issues to national. So if you're a British Member of Parliament, not someone in Spain, you can't talk about health policy in Westminster unless you understand people's problems in getting access to the Heatherwood emergency ward. You can't talk about education unless you understand day-to-day, 3 days a week, that you're dealing with people who are sending their children to the Birch Hill Primary School. So what I'd hope to bring as somebody who is a soldier, a diplomat, somebody who set up a charity in Afghanistan, is that sense of connection between the local and the national.
Yes, I was going to ask about your stuff abroad, because you've done a fair bit. You've been to Afghanistan, as you say, you've been to the States, you spent time all over the place, haven't you?
I have. My father worked for Rayco Electronics, which was based in Bracknell, but he ran their China operation, so as a child I travelled quite a lot. And as you say, I set up a charity in Afghanistan 4 years ago. I've grown it from 1 to 550 people. And it's very much a town centre regeneration project. So that's another thing that excites me about Bracknell, because we've been working on urban planning, we've also been doing basic services, education, health, and also what makes me a Conservative, which is my faith in people. My sense that government regulation, as somebody who's been a civil servant, can be overdone, and we need to liberate people.
I can very much understand why someone who wants to be a Tory MP would like to be up for Bracknell, because it's always been a safe Conservative seat. We'll see what happens this time around. Why would anyone who's got, success in other fields in life want to be an MP at the moment, though, Rory?
I think it's the greatest honour possible. All my life as a soldier, as a civil servant, as someone running a charity, I've circled around, and I've come to the conclusion that if you want to do something, you've got to get in there, you've got to take responsibility. I'm fed up of writing or talking about policy without being able to change it. I'd like to have an opportunity to serve people, and I'd like to have an opportunity to get into the administration, get into the management.
OK, we'll see what happens, Rory. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Rory Stewart, one of the 7 candidates fighting for the chance to fight the election in Bracknell for the Conservatives. We met